Welcome in, everyone. This is a collective reading for the week starting December 29th. So we are closing out the end of 2025 and starting 2026, first week of January here. So we're going to tap in and see what is going on for the collective. This is a general reading again, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. This is again a high level tap into the energies as I am picking them up at this now moment. And I am actually doing this reading on December 29th. So I think it's good timing. To let you guys know, so once I post this, all of the 2026 yearly forecast readings for all the zodiac signs will be posted. So please ensure to go take a look at those. Those were very profound readings. It was very eye-opening, very, I guess, some great information for everybody. We picked up on a lot of trends for 2026. A lot of great guidance and things to just help you become more aware of what you should focus on, what to prioritize, how to shift your energy, and how to align more with things that bring you, right, higher frequency energies. All of them had extendeds on there as well. And, you know, not to try and push you to the extendeds, but the extendeds really just blew the information out of the water. It was kind of the cherry on top, because the standard reading out on YouTube was kind of general but great information. And then the extendeds, we really dived into more details. And it really did give some great stuff, especially around relationships, love, and work and career for next year for everybody. So the one thing I've been doing a lot more connecting. If you guys aren't aware, I'm a channeler. I don't necessarily like the term channeler, but I think that's probably what you guys understand the most. I do connect with higher dimensional beings, guides, and we communicate. I get a lot of information from them. And just since October of 2025, I know that the frequencies have intensified, and a lot of people, their skills, their abilities, their intuition, whatever it is just blowing up. So a lot of you who are watching obviously are part of the path of expansion. I don't necessarily like to even say the spiritual path anymore, because it isn't a spiritual path. It is the unfoldment of our true selves, which are divine beings. So we are here to expand, to unfold, to come back to who we really are, to be aware of who we really are, and start living through the lens that we're supposed to, and also to utilize the abilities, the tools, you could call it magic, whatever you want to call it, that we are born with, that we are, that is our, I guess, our birthright. I mean, as we are divine beings, and it's awakening to how we can live in the 3D world in a way where we can create more ease, align with, again, all the things that we are meant to align with, and become who we're truly meant to be. So yeah, I mean, obviously I've been working on this path, putting my abilities, skill sets out there for probably, 15 years or more, but my abilities have even started to explode and expand even more just since October. But I've been getting a ton of information from higher dimensional beings. I've been connecting to more different types of beings than I ever have before. And I actually had an energy session with a lady who's amazing. And her name is, I think it's Nicola Light. Her name's Nicola. But she has a YouTube channel, so I definitely recommend her. But I watched a video of hers, and instantly knew I had to connect with her, and she really helped. I didn't even ask her to, but she did ask when she was doing my energy work for me to expand and connect with more different beings. And it literally, she opened definitely a portal, and I have been connecting with all different sorts of beings. And there is really important information that from this point on and moving forward that needs to get out to the collective to help everyone navigate the current moments, to help us in the coming, especially the coming year. So I did post an energy update on my YouTube channel, I think a couple weeks ago. If you haven't listened to that, I would definitely take a look at that. And I'm going to be posting something. I just connected with them last night. Oh my gosh, it blew me out of the water. The information around what's happening right now is, it blew my mind apart listening to this. And obviously I'm really connected with all of this, but it is something that everyone has to listen to. And I'm going to be posting that shortly this week. So let's get into the reading for this week. So just a couple things as far as astrology. So let's see here. On the 29th, which is actually today, Monday, and maybe depending on if you watch this was in the past, but Mercury is squaring Saturn. So this is a good one to be aware of, because there's still going to be lingering, obviously the day of is the most intense. There's a little bit of shadow period, before it and after it, but that can really inhibit communication. So it's a good to know the astrology, because especially something like Mercury squaring Saturn, definitely avoid having any serious conversations, especially at work or with people of authority figures like bosses. If you're trying to, sway someone or present ideas, it's definitely not a great time to do that. This energy does create a lot of negative viewpoints, a lot of negative ways of thinking, even negative communication coming out. And it can also create kind of this energy of heavy workloads, too much on someone's plate, feeling the heavy obligations and responsibilities of life. So just be aware of that. Then on the 1st, Mercury enters Capricorn until I think the 20th of January. This is going to really bring us, because Mercury is around thinking, speaking, and communication. And it's really, Capricorn is really bringing us down to earth, grounding us, helping us to really turn our ideas, turn our thoughts into tangible reality. Figuring out how we can do that, right? Being practical, coming up with a plan, focusing on a good Capricorn helps us focus on the details, especially when we were in, Mercury was in Sagittarius. That's more of, hey, let's, there's a lot of airiness and fire, passion around, hey, we have all these great ideas brewing, right? But it's not a great time to bring them into reality or actually start tackling them. So we're taking the ideas and the thoughts from Sagittarius season, and now with this Capricorn energy, we can actually start to make them a reality. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about is we have a full moon in Cancer this week on the 3rd. This is, the moon is Cancer's, represents Cancer. The only thing about this one, we already have Cancer, which is a water sign. So there's going to be, it's an emotional transit. But then on top of it, we have the full moon in Cancer opposing Venus, Mars, and the sun. So this is going to be a highly charged emotional, emotions coming out for people. So we're going to kind of see people being highly triggered. It could create conflict, so be careful about how you're navigating people around this time, because people are going to be over emotional, overreacting. And this is also a combo that's going to create like anger in people, or people's anger or rage could come out. But on the positive, this is about reconnecting and that dreaminess of the water sign. So it's about reconnecting to our dreams, and allowing us to purify and release emotions that, again, we've been holding on to. So we're allowing these things to flow through us. We can learn from this. And this is about beginning a new story from a new emotional standpoint. So those are the astrology for the week that I wanted to hit. Let's get into the cards. So I'm going to do some general oracle and then also specific oracle for the full moon. So let's do general for the week. So we get the flow card and the fifth chakra or the throat chakra, and this is Archangel Gabriel. So, again, I shouldn't be surprised at this point since I always am using the cards, but it's so spot on with the astrology and the cards which totally just reiterates that there is an energetic frequency, and the astrology just does impact, the energy here. It impacts us. But here's that Mercury into Capricorn. So there is a focus on communication this week, on opening the throat chakra, how we are communicating with people. And there is this flow card. So we need to allow whatever is coming up in us to flow and to be able to communicate it. But I definitely think this is something that, especially with that square, that we need to be thoughtful of our communication this week and allow it to flow in a way that isn't just, because when we allow our emotions to flow all the time and we're addressing it as it comes up, that creates healthy communication, right? And it doesn't get blocked up inside of us. And that's where anger and rage tend to come in, is when we keep pushing down feelings we have, and then they just keep building up. I'm going to get one more, appreciation, and then let's see, creativity as well. So this is a week to stop and smell the roses. And there is creative energy here. So I think it's about using your thinking, your speaking, and communication, and kind of your learning aspect, because that's also Mercury, and using it to help inspire you to create something. And this could be, it doesn't have to be like creating something tangible like a hobby or something, but this could also be in regards to creating your life, or just having creative ideas in how to navigate anything in life. It could be being creative about navigating your boss this week, navigating relationships, especially, again, back to the square and the full moon. But there's a lot of creativity in how we're navigating this week, I feel. And I do feel like Cancer energy can bring up a lot of inspiration, especially from an emotional standpoint, inspire us to do things, to be, create, to put things out in the world. But I definitely feel like this appreciation. So I did learn something from a higher dimensional guide that came in about what smell the roses actually means. And we see it as really just stopping to enjoy the moment, which it's true. But when we can really tangibly, really feel into the moment, whatever moment it is, it's going to impact our senses. It's going to impact our bliss. And that's true connection. When we're in the moment is the only way that we can access the divine. It's the only way, is really being in the moment. So for those of you who are like, well, how can I connect more with my guides or open up to information, or like, how do I find more bliss in my life and things like that? And really the key thing here is you need to be in the moment. So for those of you who are always chasing doingness, who are always trying to get out of your head, or, I can't sit still because I don't like sitting alone with what's inside me. This is something that's really, you're going to be forced to do this year, because that is the only way through to create and feel into a more divine frequency and to start living in a new way that you're not plagued by density. And you're avoiding yourself because you're holding on to density. You're holding on to dense emotions. You're holding on to dense experiences that are in your body, that are held within your energy field. They may also be ingrained in your nervous system. There's so many aspects of this, and this is where we need to just start facing ourselves, because that is the only way through. All right. So I'm going to get some cards on this first, and then we'll hit the full moon. Okay. And something else I forgot to tell you guys with tarot. I did mention this in a couple of the 2026 readings, but I want to start shifting this perspective on tarot. I'm also shifting my perspective, especially with the information I've been getting lately, because I'm being told that more and more there is no future. Okay? All there is this now moment. So when I'm reading, when I'm doing tarot, or if you're listening to a psychic or something or whatever, tapping into the future, what we really are doing is we're tapping into the now moment. Okay? So we're tapping into the energies as it stands in this exact moment in time. So what that means is this accumulation of energy that I'm reading into is obviously created based on where we've been and what we've put into the field. So just because I'm saying, and again, I am saying this is for the week ahead, what I'm really doing is tapping into the current energies. And based on the current energies, you can kind of see how things are going to unfold in the next now moment. And so we are consistently just literally in a now moment, and then in the next now moment, in the next now moment. Really, there never is a future. So this isn't set in stone. We can shift, we can change the next now moment. So this is not set in stone. Just because I say this, it's not like, again, this is the be all end all of what's going to happen this week. But you can navigate it. It does give you some awareness on how to navigate based on where you currently are and what the forecasted astrology is going to be. So you can navigate it in a way that you can create more ease and grace in every now moment and tap into the potential and opportunities that every now moment are offering you. Okay, so let's see. So we have the Lovers, the Ace of Cups, and the Three of Pentacles. I'm just going to pull here. So we have the High Priestess, the Page of Pentacles, and the Temperance card. So this is going to be the general information based on where we are right now as we move forward. So we have the Lovers and the Ace of Cups. And I really see this as, with the Three of Pentacles, there is a potential this week. Okay, even though, like the astrology says, there's a little bit of watch out. There's emotional energy here coming up. There can be some conflict in relationship, in communication in relationships. But I see this as a huge opportunity this week for us to, again, learn and be aware and to navigate anything energetically that faces us in a way that we are still maintaining connection and we are able to repair. I don't see anything here about repair, but I do see that this is about, the Three of Pentacles is about working together. We're working together on something that has value for all of us. And there is like something that will be produced from this working together that, for one, how do we create a stable foundation, but how do we build something that has value? Or that is something that we can all be proud of. And so really, this is about, at the core here, it's about our emotions in our heart space, which obviously is on point with the Cancer new moon energy. And it's, you know, coming together in a loving way. How can we create connection within ourselves, with others? Also, there's the 2 deer on here, so it's about connecting with the earth, with animals and everything on the planet. And we have the High Priestess here. So this is a really, to me, prime week, especially with Mercury tapping in to communicate from more of a divine standpoint, communicating with our higher selves, opening ourselves up to be able to really listen to the information and guidance we are receiving, and using it to our advantage again this week. To me, I mean, but that's every now moment. We have such advantages in every now moment to really harness and use what it's offering to us. And there is something to offer here, Page of Pentacles. There's something of major value that we can utilize this week to help us moving forward. This is about learning something new or gaining something of value. And it's flanked by the Temperance and the High Priestess. So we have 2 very metaphysical energy here. We have the Divine Feminine and we have the Temperance here. The feminine spirit, to me, is really strong here with the angels and the guides coming in. So again, there seems already, you know, we're starting the year off here in January, and there's going to be a lot of communication coming in. It's going to be flying in. We got a lot of Mercury going on with it going into Capricorn. We have the Mercury square Saturn, but it's all about the value we can learn in how we communicate with ourselves. First and foremost, how are we communicating with ourselves? And then how are we communicating with other people? So, loving that. So let's tap into then specifically this full moon in Cancer and see what pops up here. Oops, these 2 want to fly out. So we have expect powerful change, definitely, new moon eclipse. And then we have conclusions are within reach, full moon eclipse. So we have 2 eclipse cards, and I'm just going to grab one more. This one wants to come out. Emotions are running high, super moon. Yes. Emotions are running high. We know this. Even within ourselves. I think this is something to be aware of. So this is how astrology, again, I'm always saying how great it is to be able to utilize the tools, to utilize astrology, to help us gain awareness so we don't feel like we're crazy, or we don't feel like everyone else is crazy, or there's something wrong with us, because the astrology does affect and impact us. So if your emotions are running on high, just give yourself some grace. And some ease as well, just this week. You know, don't be too hard on yourself. So I cut out there, but I did move on here to pull the first card, which was the Knight of Cups, for the energy for this full moon in Cancer. The Seven of Swords, and the King of Pentacles. Here's the distortion, and apologize for my nails. I had some fall off. There's the distortion. So I think we need to be a little bit, again, aware, and just like, I think there's going to be a lot of distortion this week because a lot of emotions are on high. But what's interesting is the Knight of Cups is like someone offering love, or someone coming in with loving energy here. So this could go twofold here, where someone is offering some sort of love, but I would be a little bit careful. Like, it may seem like this, you know, it may seem like something it's not, basically, with the Seven of Swords. On the other hand, it could be someone is trying to like be open and approach things with integrity, and they are really coming from their heart space. But I think if with the emotions being high this week, I do feel like potentially you could distort this in a negative way as well. So it could go either way, but definitely it does involve someone here, the King of Pentacles. So let me just get a couple clarifiers here. So one for the Knight of Cups, Two of Cups. Okay, that's good energy here. So someone is offering something here of love, the Tower, and then the King of Pentacles with the Star. So I think what's happening this week is any sort of underlying feelings that haven't been addressed. I feel like that there has been some feelings that have not been addressed. I feel like people maybe aren't fully like being honest about how they're feeling and their emotions. And this could go either way, right? It could be someone really has a lot of love and they, you know, there's a lot of feelings there and they haven't really let you know how they really feel. But I definitely feel like the Tower is blowing up anything hidden that people are holding close to their chest. So there could be also something that someone's not telling you. There could be someone, maybe there's someone who has a crush on you, who's really had all these deep feelings for you, and they finally, with the Tower and the Seven of Swords to me is, they haven't told you, but now all of a sudden it's, you know, you find out about it. So there is something that's been kind of underneath the surface, or something that you aren't aware of that all of a sudden comes out. This could also be something that you're holding back, that eventually this energy kind of pushes it out. But I do feel like there is something here that clearing the air is going to help kind of bring ease to the situation and allow things to move forward. And what's unfolding here is something that, to me, that you've really wanted to happen. This is like a wish fulfilled. And this could be this King of Pentacles, who's also the King of Cups. I'm going to get one more for the Tower. I'm just, Four of Wands. Okay, so yeah, this is definitely something around a relationship situation. So we'll see how this manifests this week, but there's definitely going to be some Tower moments, especially anything that we've been holding back or are hiding from ourselves or other people. Definitely that's more around the heart space and our emotions and our feelings. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to get one for the High Priestess, Page of Pentacles here as well. This is the general stuff from earlier. Queen of Pentacles. Look at, you see the Page of Pentacles is holding a pentacle, and so is the Queen. So I definitely feel this is definitely about something of value, learning something, or you are being offered something of value. Or the High Priestess, again, there's something that there's this like enlightenment or aha moment of learning something new that really almost, maybe you get some information from somewhere, from a podcast, from, you know, a book or something where it's like, oh, like this was like a really valuable piece of information that really like connects you to your higher self and like higher frequencies, and it really kind of opens you up in some new way. And let's get one for the Temperance. Judgment. Oh yeah, something's coming in, like the Judgment, something, there is messaging or information coming in, something that you're learning that's really going to blow the top off. I feel like more, again, spiritually for you, or something around life that's really clearing that's going to shift your perspective and awareness this week. I mean, there's a lot of energy around this. The Tower, we have the Judgment card coming in. There's these value cards and learning something here. And then we have all these cups. Yeah, Six of Cups. So there's a lot of offering of love, that there is potential here. I feel like there's a balancing out. There's a lot of sweet energy coming in, but I feel like it shifts you from the inside out first. So a lot of this I feel like is coming from us, from our heart space. It's almost like our heart space is opening up. Like just energetically something is really opening up our heart space. And we're getting wiser because of this. And we're able to move forward on a new path. Being able to just interact in our relationships in a new way. All right. This is some great energy. Great stuff. All right, everyone. Well, I will leave you with that. Have a good week. And I will see you in the next reading. Bye for now.